Hello there, you're welcome to another exciting edition of HotSports. We thank you so very much. Last week, Saturday on the show, I did mention one or two things will happen. One, will we be singing the pa-na-na-na-na-na of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, or we will be with long faces? Well, we are excited and happy that we are singing this tune of Super Eagles of Nigeria, and congratulations to them for clinching the ticket to the Cameroon 2019, the African Cup of Nations, that will be happening later in 2019. Big ups, Super Eagles. Thank you very much for making us proud, picking up a draw at the FNB Stadium in Johannesburg. Meanwhile, attention as well will shift today, this evening, as the Super Falcons will play Equatorial Guinea in the ongoing Women's Championship right there in Ghana. Remember, they lost their game against South Africa, then they came back to defeat Zambia, and now in an all-important clash against Equatorial Guinea, who really have not been quite spectacular. Well, spectacular is the word to use to describe my crew today. I'm excited to inform you that I'm making a return to the show from a very brief and long whatever hiatus. I got the man from Onitsha, who is not from Onitsha, but his name is Azubike Onitsha. How you doing, my bro?
You said Onitsha.
Don't confuse the listener.
Okay.
My name is Azubike Onitsha.
Onitsha.
Yeah.
How do you feel, man? I mean, when you have a name that is closely related to one of the biggest markets in Africa. Are you a market one?
I wish I had more time to do more of the explanation, but great to be here on the Babajide Guerrero.
Absolutely.
That's actually where I am from.
You are from Onitsha?
Yes, Onicha, different from the one, you know.
Okay.
In Delta States.
All right, in Delta State this
yeah.
time. All right, so it's good that we just cleared this so that in case you see him in the future or you call him a man from Onitsha, you will know that it's the same pronunciation but different spelling.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Olale, how are you, man?
Good morning to you, Babajide.
Olale is part of the furniture of the show these days. I mean, looks very comfortable in that chair. How's your week been?
Well, been great, and then again, congratulations to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yet again, Benadro has been doing wonders. The Super Eagles qualified with a game to spare. Let's not forget to be playing Stitches come next year, but yet we've qualified for the Nations Cup in the same fashion we did for the World Cup. Great to be on the show. Hopefully to be a wonderful one today. Yes,
it is. It's going to be a wonderful one, especially this show would serve as that window to hear the analysis and the previews and the forthcoming facts as regards to the game as Super Falcons will be taking on Equatorial Guinea later today. I'm sure you don't want to miss this. Another thing you don't want to miss is this show for the next 20-25 minutes on the biggest television network in Africa, NTA. We'll go for a quick break, and when we return, the first story, the most important, or should I say the big issue on HotSports is live.
Bros, I define correct words.
Huh? See the shop for that side.
I look all that. Be correct words.
Now the shop be down, now the next one.
Peter, see as people they pack, they go to the shop, go buy clothes. It don't reach like 5 days now. I just suspect this Tunde way this is where in Waka could carry Waka. See, I go blow whistle. I go blow whistle to go spoil. Your whistle. Come on, go investigate the matter before you blow whistle. Whistle blood. Come on, come join.
Thank you for coming.
Show first. Wait, come. Not only you the circle for this market. Why be say only your shop everybody they come? I just want blow whistle. See, I go blow something.
This will not be whistle blowing matter. Now MTN goodie bag.
What it be MTN goodie bag?
With MTN goodie bag, if you carry your market enter another level, whether na for Facebook or for WhatsApp or for Twitter, for as low as 25 naira.
25 naira.
Yes, so dial *131*3# with just 25 naira daily or 50 naira weekly. You go get double data to browse Facebook, Instagram, chat, WhatsApp. Make yourself come to get double.
Delta State football fans, particularly in Asaba, had a rare opportunity to see the Super Eagles in state capital for the first time. Anxious fans thronged the Stephen Keshi Stadium to catch a glimpse of the Nigerian players who they have been dreaming to meet. But tight security and the closed-door training session was a big hurdle for the fans to scale as they expressed their grievances.
I have been in this town, I have been in this state for 25 years. What we are expecting today is very bad. What you are seeing actually is very bad. You said we should come. I leave everything from Oguashuku to come and watch our dynamic Super Eagles and to give them encouragement to the match they want to play. Now to come here, the gate is locked. We don't know that they were they were here in Asaba. But you inform us that they were here through the media, and we are here to watch them and to encourage them. Even children, they were here. No, if you people are treating people like that in this country, it's very bad. And one day, we are going to revoke all these things. Thank you. We expect transparency, justice.
Imagine a baby that is coming to watch this Super Eagles play, and they're not giving a opportunity to see.
We have a lot of security.
My son, see the young ones, everybody they are angry
to watch
see
the game,
Super Eagles
and he allows how many seconds will it take them for us to see the game?
Some of the fans, including young school children, tried to peep through some of the open holes in an attempt to see the team's training. After the training, however, nerves were calmed as the excited team swooped on the players for selfies and photographs on their phones.
And you're welcome back to the show. And this morning, let's just go right into it. The question we're asking about is about the Super Falcons. And we're saying, do we really need a foreign coach for the Super Falcons? Well, Azubike has already, shrugged his shoulders and is really wondering. So, yes, let me just start with you with your thesis statement. Do we really need a foreign coach for the Super Falcons?
I won't have been against a foreign coach, but at this point, with the little I've seen, I think we should have just stick with what we used to have. From Eukarya, who won the African Cup of Nations, down to Florence Omabemi, who won the last one, in 2016 before she was booted out due to some issues. I think Nigerian coaches have done well. Just the best of management will give the Nigerian coaches the same support. If the support comes from the management, I think the Nigerian coaches are good to go at any point in time.
Leye, you're not with the local front.
Not at all, because of Bajide. Nigeria has always done well. The Super Falcons on the African continent. Right now, we need to go storm the world. And I think getting a coach like Thomas Denobi is the right step in the right direction from the NFF board. A man who has been there, done there, and of course, he did so well for the Swedish national team, taking them to the top place finish in the 2011 FIFA World Cup, that's the Women's World Cup. So for me, I think getting someone like Denobi, particularly, is for the World Cup scene, not really for the African terrain.
All right, there you have it. The number is on your screen. You have a chance of being part of this show. We're looking forward to hearing your very, very important thoughts. I mean, that's why we're here, right? So how about you whip out your phone and text us. Let us know what's on your mind. Do you think that the Super Falcons really need a foreign coach, or we should just go back to the status quo, which is often the news of having local coaches man positions as delicate as this? We'll go for a quick break, and when we return, the gentlemen are here with the facts, stats, and analysis. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back. And we are back. This is HotSports, and if you're just joining us now, you've not missed anything. We're about to just get started. We were asking today, this morning, do we really need a foreign coach for the Super Falcons? And Azubike, let's just get right into it. Your thoughts, please.
Okay, I just said something, and I'm going to say it again. Over time, we've seen different levels of support given to local coaches and foreign coaches, which is not right. If you want to see the best of the local coach, give that same support you will give to a foreign coach. Thomas Denobi is enjoying a level of preference compared to what the likes of Omabemi enjoyed. She just won the African Cup of Nations. I'm telling you what really happened in 2016 while she was no longer the coach of Nigeria. A top source after that issue, when she came out with placards alongside her players, motivated to get their money after winning the African Cup of Nations, I think was the 10th time and 8th time officially. She was said not to be retained because the NFF claimed, according to that top source, which was anonymous at that time, that we can't have such persons who has fought against the management or the body be the coach of the national team. They were going to go with Edwin Okon before Thomas Denobi came in. Edwin Okon was also fired because he couldn't win or do so well at the World Cup in 2015. So we've seen these recurring issues, and they keep recycling the Nigerian coaches and not give them top class treatment. We take you quickly to the female team. When last did they play before the loss to France? Over a year or two. They had not had any games since that tournament. No friendlies. The girls had to come protest that they were not giving fair share of what the men were getting. And look at the talents we've gotten with the female team. Assistant Oshola cannot do as much in the African Cup of Nations now because there's not been that coherence with that team. They lost the first game 8-0 to the foreign coach who should be coming to bring the foreign mentality to the players when they want to do well at the World Stage. Is that the best way to start losing 8-0? They lost to local-based teams back to back.
I think.
And I don't understand where this whole idea of foreign coaches are
Excuse me,
coming.
I know you have a very loud voice, but of course, let me just actually put my no, because it's always
I want to take that as a jibe.
It's a jibe, really, but of course, this is the way it works. At this time, the Super Falcons. Denobi is like the best man for him at this moment. I beg your pardon, because looking at the fact that the team of a while they've not been playing a lot of games now. Coming back to the NFF, the thought that before then a US coach actually declined the job of the Super Falcons, and came Thomas Denebi. They wanted to chart a new course. Nigeria has done so well, no doubt, on the home front, especially in Africa.
You're not looking confident with your points.
Come on,
when last did you see that? What was the last thing Denebi did
Thomas
as a
Denebi
coach?
is the right man for the job at this time, and for me, there's no mistake in being the national team coach of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Why? Because he's the man to take the team forward. Currently, we are the Nations Cup. We lost our first game. We came back strong against the Zambian side by 4 goals to 0. We play the Equatorial Guinea today. Hopefully, we get a good result and qualify for the next round. And at the same time, go as far as qualifying for the World Cup. For the World Cup, for me, we need to do well for me to get as far as the quarterfinals. And then again, to qualify the national team for the Tokyo 2020. For 2 years or about a year, the Super Falcons were not with the coach and were not playing actively. And of course, they felt they couldn't go on with the likes of Omar Baby, who won the Nations Cup last time out. And they felt they had to push their tentacles outside. And they brought in this man who has got a good track record. A former US coach was actually approached, but he declined the job. But Thomas Denebi was the best man for the job, and he has not done badly. This is a man who you said he has done well. Your records only speak for you, because they are facts. They are secret. You can opinionate about him. It doesn't change anything. So for me right now, I think this NFF has done a good job in getting Thomas Denebi. What I think the NFF should do at this juncture, it should make sure, in terms of preparation, it should give them the best preparation. In terms of incentive that they are giving the male national team, it should be given. Anything aside from that,
everything at par.
Anything aside from that, I think this man is going to do a great job as he's doing right now.
They won the tournament in Cameroon, beat Cameroon at their own backyard in the final, and lifted that tournament. And Omar Bemi was fired because she led a protest. Simple. They have a point. Then who's next? You're going to bring a coach who you would most likely not owe because you don't want the noise in the international media. That is what we've been doing. And that's where the problem is. Not the players, not... If you're going to work on the players, work on their psychology. That's the most I think they should do. Get a psychologist, but leave the local coaches. They understand these players better. They know how to play these girls and will get the best out of the team. If the same support that will be given to the Denebi-led team will be given to... They're still having the same issues. They came into the first game and we heard complaints that they were not well treated. That was why they lost that first game. There were issues of jerseys not being given to them at the right time. Little things like this count. You should have been taken care of. And the best team would have gone on to win. South Africa will not stand Nigeria well. So what I'm saying is, it's not about the coach. The issues should be treated from the bottom.
It's been an amazing back and forth here. The gentlemen obviously have a very diverse view and opinion. I'm sure they actually speak the mind of a lot of people watching this show at this time, especially Azu, who feels that it's not the coach, it's not the players, it's the issues that really should stand. A local coach will do better than a foreign coach. Meanwhile, Leah thinks that this man, Thomas Denebi, happened to be the man that should take Nigeria's female football to the next level. That winning the Nations Cup is not enough, but if I thought there's a man that should be called at this point, it is Thomas Denebi, according to Olaleye Yudo. But these are the thoughts of just two people in the studio. What are your thoughts? How about you tell us on social media, right on your screen, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, as well as YouTube channel at HotSports NG. We'll go for a quick break, and when we return, HotSports is live. Right, that place will be where we open up to you guys on every sports issues making round this weekend. Stay with us.
Super Falcons. MTN gives 2,000% bonus for reactivating your MTN SIM. That's right. If you haven't used your MTN SIM for 45 days or more, recharge now and get 2,000% bonus. That's right, 2,000% bonus for your first recharge of every month.
The Super Eagles made history last week when their Max Air Boeing 737 chartered aircraft that flew them to Johannesburg, South Africa, became the first international flight to take off from the Asaba International Airport. It was a moment of joy for pilot, crew and observers as they celebrated the milestone.
Today there's a lot of blessings. The weather has been very good and we could see Asaba from about 30 miles away. And coming to land it at the runway, surprisingly I find out it's quite long and the runway is very smooth in Asaba.
How best would you like to be remembered doing this today?
Well, it's just that I'm playing my own part. I'm very happy to support whatever is going on here in Asaba, and we'll continue to do that as a Nigerian, and hope we'll all work together to make improvements in all around the nation like this.
You've gone to several airports. How best could you describe that of Delta State?
For the runway I can say should be amongst the top 3 in the country because it's quite new and it's very smooth. And also the taxiways to the ramp here is quite good. So I think Asaba, by the time we plant more flowers, everything will be fine.
You're welcome back to the show, and you're welcome back to Sports, HotSports, a segment on the show earlier. The segment of The Argument was brought to you by MTN, everywhere you go. And right now we're going straight up into the game, Super Falcons versus Equatorial Guinea. Guys, you mentioned how endangered the Super Falcons are at the moment. Let me start with you, Leye. You have a feeling that this year is a make or bust game against Equatorial Guinea. They need to score goals, but then again, most importantly, they need to win.
Yeah, they really need to score goals and, of course, win very well because the way it is, I think the Falcons, having lost their first game, came back strong against Zambia. But looking at the group itself, if Falcons beat Equatorial Guinea and Zambia beat South Africa, all 3 teams will be tied up with 6 points. Looking at whatever would happen aftermath of the encounter, and of course, Equatorial Guinea, well, they could be eliminated, and Nigeria would qualify in that group. That is if Zambia scores 6 goals against South Africa, and that might look seemingly impossible. So it's a dicey one, but of course, I think the Super Falcons have got their fate in their hands to make sure they qualify for the next round of this tournament, and hopefully they should score goals because Equatorial Guinea, as we all know, actually crashed this tournament. Let's not forget, Kenya was initially in the tournament before they were actually asked to withdraw, and which Equatorial Guinea is having an appearance. So hopefully we should be able to do the needful against Equatorial Guinea.
Well, that's the thoughts, that's the aspiration, and we hoping it would actually come through at 5 p.m. today, where Nigeria will take on Equatorial Guinea. As we've seen Super Eagles of Nigeria play all through the qualifications, and you've watched those games with keen interest, I want to ask you, we've seen Genera do the formations, the combination, testing different kind of players. Which particular player have really impressed you so far? Maybe 1 or 2 players, and the ones you think shouldn't have any business in that team in 2019?
That's a tough one. We've not. I think it's been some cameo performances, but some guys have come in and they've done not badly. You still want to give Musa that standout point. People have sang Ihalo's praise, but for me, I still think there's nothing he's going to do to impress me any longer. Ihalo has been given time over time. Yeah, he scored a couple of goals before he got injured. But most likely, surely he'll be at the 2019 African Cup of Nations. Somebody has to step up, and that's Kelechi Iheanacho. I know he's way better than what we're saying, but I don't know where he's coming in. Whether he's not training as much, he's not just getting something right, and that's where there's a problem. Jamilu Collins, great inclusion. I'm looking forward to Tyrone Eboye return from the injury and just stick that right back position.
Absolutely.
And I hope General Raw would want to look into that direction because even when he was in the team at the World Cup, we weren't really sure.
Okay.
We're seeing a lot of, I'm sure we'll apply. Ogene Karetebo, my man, any day, anytime, does a wonderful job. John Ogu is also doing greatly well. So I think the guys have got some...
They're gelling, so to say.
Yeah, they're gelling. So
okay.
We should have a good team for the African Cup of Nations. It looks like they might go on to win it.
Possibly. All right, moving on. It returns, the EPL, and so does every other league in the world of football returns this weekend. But this weekend, big fixtures to enjoy. Chelsea play Tottenham, and we also see Manchester United play Crystal Palace. We know for a fact that you may be on the road, so we're asking you to probably just log on to www.hotsporttv.com to follow up on the live actions in that particular section, as well as the news and previews on the goals as they come in. We'll be live buzzing at www.hotsporttv.com. But guys, quickly, predictions, Chelsea, Tottenham?
Well, it's going to be a feisty encounter for Chelsea. They want to make sure they do it against Tottenham. For me, I see a draw because possibly at every instance after the international break, there's this, stop and flow of the team's cohesion. But hopefully, knowing full there's going to be a derby between the two teams, it might end up in a draw.
United, Crystal Palace, as well. United not covered in glory this season, but they can take confidence from the fact that a lot of their players gave a really much good account of themselves at this international break.
Yeah, and that's one thing to look out for them. And I think they'll go on to win this particular encounter.
Okay.
Maybe not too much of a margin, but the most important thing is getting the results.
Getting the results. And trust me when we say that United really need every form of 3 points, because they are really drifting away from the other pack. And that's not even putting it in a good way. They're actually really flailing their form this season. Well, let's talk Formula One now, and the final race of the year 2018 is upon us. It's the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix happening tomorrow, and the Briton, Lewis Hamilton, who's had a very fine 2018, wishes to consolidate his stand with a podium finish. You've been impressed this season, Olale, with Lewis Hamilton. You must have been. The consistency, his mental sagacity as well, but most importantly, the fact that he has a never-say-die attitude, especially when he comes back from loss. You have a feeling that 2019 is already looking like another Lewis Hamilton year. Yeah,
already it is. I think it's done so well. Maybe right now, aside from Anthony Joshua, they should be the British poster boy doing
absolutely well said.
On the tracks, and I think for me it's a great one. 2018 this year has been a fantastic one for them. Of course, Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, one which at the time used to give the double points. You feel that he wants to do well for himself, and of course finishing the year on a high. Knowing full that he has really won, he's already confirmed, but of course in terms of raking up the points, maybe it could be one of the best years in terms of raking up points on the Formula One circuit.
Okay, during the course of the week, we had the guest show having Gennett Roy, the head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He was in the complex, the HotSports Media Group complex, and he was a breakfast with Roy. And it was actually quite interesting. Top sports editors across board were live to ask him telling questions as regards the Super Eagles of Nigeria, strategies, tactics, preparations, schedules, and all. And I think he coped quite well. So this is the plan, guys. We'll be looking forward to having you watch the live replay. It was live on HotSports NG. That's on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And of course, our YouTube channel at HotSports NG. In case you missed out on any of these clips, remember to keep a date with us next week, Saturday. We promise you that we'll be giving you an exclusive package from that particular breakfast with Raw, brought to you by Peak Milk. Well, for us, we have to go for one more break. When we return, it will be time for the final whistle. Remember, earlier in the show, we asked this question that do we really need a foreign coach for the Super Falcons? The gentlemen laid their thoughts, and now it's time for me to lay mine. You want to hear about that? How about you stick around? And welcome back to the show. It's the final port. It's been a phenomenal show. And my reactions to the final whistle, do we really need a foreign coach for the Super Falcons? Okay, so this is me leaning to both ways. I'll lean slightly to Olale, who feels that the Nations Cup is like a birthright, which is wrong to say, but we've won that particular tournament. The Super Falcons are the most successful African national team, be it male or female. And to take it further, maybe you need a little bit of extra. While I'll also lean to the side of Azubike, who thinks that regardless of the quality of who you're bringing, if there are some salient issues that you're not attending to, that right there is the problem. But these are the thoughts of these two gentlemen. What are your thoughts? That's the thoughts I want to listen to next week and read to the viewers next week on the show. Please do well to go to our comment section in our YouTube channel and drop your thoughts as well on the Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter right there on your screen. So I have to bid the guys farewell at this time. Azu, it's always a fantastic feel to have you in the studio. Thank you so very much.
An honor to be here, Guerrero. Thanks to Olale. I'll meet him here someday. We'll continue where we left off.
That could be soon.
Well, I hope to have a voice like
Azu's, yes.
So in case someone like comes around.
Yeah, you have to be from Onitsha.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the kind of voice I have is maybe from Onitsha or no, but I probably at some point I'll probably just go and port to Onitsha so I can have a voice like Azu's. Guys, we thank you so very much for being part of the show. Big thanks to the production team as well as you, the viewers. We will see you next week Saturday, God willing. Remember, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye for now.